I got to tell you, it fills my heart with joy to see so many people here today, this week of all weeks. It's really good to be amongst friends. And this topic is very near and dear to me. So, I graduated in 2009 from the University of South Florida St. Pete, not that far from here, with a political science degree. And do you know what all that studying of politics taught me? I don't actually want to be in politics. All that studying, volunteering for campaigns, observing the judicial system, it all left me with this feeling that politics is just not the place to make the most positive change. It's weighed down with institutional inertia, there's complacency at work, and yeah, there's corruption. But my interest in politics didn't just go away. I have always been, and still am, very drawn to the idea of public service. The striving to make the world, your community, society a better place has always really spoken to me. And what drives someone to be so interested in public service? For me, I'm going to be honest with you and say that some of it's pure selfishness. I want to live in a better world because I want to witness less suffering. I want my sister, who has a mental illness, to have a safety net in case my family support isn't enough. I want my mom, who is technically below the poverty line, to still have access to programs like Feeding America so that she can have a healthy meal and not have to stress out between paying bills and basic nutrition. Now, I'm also drawn to the idea of public service because I have a great wellspring of enthusiasm and optimism for what human beings are capable of. I truly believe that a post-scarcity Star Trek future is possible if we can get out of our way enough to make it happen collectively. I'll be honest and say that for a long time, I put my interest in public service aside. I got a corporate job doing corporate things that didn't really make that much of a difference from a community or a society perspective. And I've been as guilty as the next person of sitting under a tree, enjoying the shade that someone planted way before I even showed up here, thinking that shade would always be there. And if someone were crazy enough to want to take an axe to that tree, someone somewhere would be an adult in the room and wrench that axe away from that person. And that led to complacency. It led me to removing myself, consider myself a good person, from society. And I realized that when good people remove themselves from society, it is basically impossible to make that positive change. I was one of those people that removed myself from the obligation of helping people make positive change. And it wasn't until COVID hit that I started to reignite my passion and my interest in public service. That's when I started my work on the Community Happiness Project. That's when I started carrying around a trash can when I went on my walks in my neighborhood to help clean up the neighborhood. And that's when I started putting my time, money, and effort into helping people build skills and have tools to lead a happier life. How did I get there? I asked myself the question I'm going to ask all of you right now. What are you doing to contribute to the world that you want to live in? There's no better time to ask this question, in my opinion. Earlier this week, this nation elected a candidate that does not believe in social safety nets. He's going to be our leader for the next 4 years. What does that mean? Look around, look in the mirror. You are your own safety net. That's where we're at right now. If you have any desire to live in a better world than what we have now, it is up to you to make personal contributions to make that happen. And even if the election had gone the other way, I would still be asking you of this. Because there's no one person who can do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good contributions that you can make. Contributions like committing to kindness, compassion, and empathy for people who are both here and far away, people that have your background and do not have your background. Stepping up when the need arises, when someone asks for help, or just because it's the right thing to do. repairing, refurbishing, and revitalizing our shared surroundings, holding a safe space for people to be able to speak their truth, standing up to bullies, and helping people build skills and have tools to navigate the ever-changing future. Your contributions will be unique to your gifts, your abilities, and your talents. And your contributions are meaningful in a way that is impossible to know real time. They add up until an avalanche of good acts is too strong for the inertia of politics to stop it. My plea to you is this: do not remove yourself from society because it's not what you want right now, like I did once upon a time. Instead, make contributions that move us closer to the world that you want to see. Keep your eyes in the here and now. Put your focus and effort here where it matters, where your control and influence is the strongest. To quote a very brave and a very hardworking woman, now is not the time to throw up our hands. Now is the time to roll up our sleeves. We have a wonderful evening planned tonight. We have two wonderful speakers who are going to bring up some levity and I hope some joy for tonight.